Well, it's official, Marathon is delayed at least for this year, and I'll touch more on that in a second. I waited a day to see where the dust settled, and I am so glad I did. Not only did I have Bungie developers themselves reach out after the announcement, but it's yet again the case of zero communication from executives and Sony being tone deaf beyond belief. Included today are Bungie's plans to revamp Marathon, what they're going to try and do to make the game better, so let's jump into it. We've got a lot to discuss. So first up, and it's what everyone was talking about, Marathon being delayed. We spoke about this being a possibility after Sony cancelled all marketing plans in 2025 for Marathon, and even at the PlayStation Showcase, they didn't really have much to present, a lot of dead air and filler. Many people worked out it's because there was supposed to be a major showcase for Marathon. This didn't happen. Bungie announced today, officially, that Marathon is delayed until next year, more or less until major issues can be worked out with the game. I saw people saying, oh my god, Marathon is delayed indefinitely. No, that is not true, because during a private press conference, Sony stated that Marathon is planned to release during the fiscal 2025 year, which overlaps into March 2026. This means Marathon at the latest will launch March next year, although even then, people still think the game is too far gone and cannot be redeemed. You guys in the comments, I know, will echo this sentiment a lot. The whole last few months left a pretty bad taste in everyone's mouth. It's a shame because the entire situation was entirely avoidable. There's so many talented developers who have worked on this project for years, and I really wanted Marathon to succeed. I realistically don't see any way you could get the broader public's opinion to change on Marathon unless you make massive changes, and on top of that, the entire Bungie leadership, they gotta go. That is what it would take. Huge course corrections, and I'm not sure they're gonna do that. It's going to take millions of dollars and a big culture shift at the studio, something that hasn't happened yet. Why do I say this? Because I had Bungie developers reach out to me, and it's actually echoed by the exact statement Paul Tassi made earlier today. Many Bungie developers had no idea Marathon was being delayed, and this news was news to them too. So you had employees terrified, stressing, crunching, and grinding to meet the original deadline, and studio morale was already bad because of the controversy surrounding the game. A lot of the developers feel like their jobs are in question, as if the game fails, they know they might find themselves looking for employment elsewhere. Leadership has made the decision to delay Marathon, and it wasn't even passed around at the very least in a company-wide email. That is pathetic. From what I was told, and I really feel for the Bungie developers, the overall culture at the studio has been frosty to say the least since the first alpha showing of the game. Many people are hesitant to say how they feel, as they fear retribution from leadership if they speak out. Many developers are frustrated that the very things that were given as feedback for years weren't listened to, and ironically, with the delay announcement today, Bungie themselves announced broad sweeping changes to the game, literally the changes those day-to-day devs suggested. So let's go through them and what it means for Marathon as a whole. June 17th, 2025, Bungie publishes official statement announcing Marathon delay. The post reads, "Thank you not only for your passionate feedback around the Marathon reveal and alpha playtest, but also for your patience while we took the time to listen closely and chart our next steps. Through every comment and real-time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft Marathon into the game that truly reflects your passion. After much discussion within our dev team, we've made the decision to delay the September 23rd release. The alpha test created an opportunity for us to calibrate and focus the game on what will make it unique. This includes compelling survival under pressure, mystery and lore around every corner, raid-like endgame challenges, and Bungie's genre-defining FPS combat. We're using this time to empower the team to create the intense, high-stakes experience that a title like Marathon is built around. This means deepening the relationship between the developers and the game's most important voices, our players. You say we are the most important voices. You guys had private playtesters for years. They all pretty much said we need a solo duo queue. That was not listened to until public backlash. It's also important to note that during the private Sony investment meeting, they literally said that Marathon was an innovative and bold take on the extraction shooter genre, citing there to be strong engagement in regards to the title. Sony even praised that very same strong engagement and said it was varied. Varied? Raid? That is the biggest PR spin I've seen on something this year. After everything that came out about the leadership, the culture at the studio, the plagiarism, repeated offenses, the actionable feedback by developers not listened to by said leadership, varied is not the word I'd use. In saying that, Bungie said that because of our feedback, they're going to overhaul the fundamental aspects of Marathon, specifically mentioning mystery and lore, as well as raid-like endgame challenges. Does this mean those developers who said this isn't Destiny 3, and for those who enjoy Destiny PvE, this game isn't for you? Have those plans now changed, as Bungie realized that their most dedicated audience is probably the audience to go with? Who would have seen that coming? Oh my God. To be truthfully honest, it shouldn't have come to this to get these broad sweeping changes. If Bungie leadership listened to their developers day one, this could have been avoided. It comes back to greed. They wanted the Destiny audience. They wanted the separate extraction shooter audience. They didn't want overlap. They wanted more money overall. And it's backfired, frankly. I still stand by the public alpha being an important thing to have happened, as imagine if Marathon launched with similar vibes as the alpha and nobody had a chance to speak out about it before the mainline release. The game would be dead right now. Of course, with the game still being in an alpha state, it would have changed before release, but not in the way that fans of Bungie wanted. In saying that, Bungie followed on to say, over the next few months, we'll continue closed testing, including participants from the alpha, to deploy gameplay updates and test new features as they come online. Once these updates are available, I'll do videos about them, giving my thoughts, but the areas Bungie touched on are the following. Upping the survival game. Many fans said they really didn't feel any high stakes at all when playing. More challenging and engaging AI encounters. I hated fighting the AI, honestly. They felt like bullet sponges and then they'd almost instant kill you, so I wonder when they say challenging how that's going to affect the casual player. More rewarding runs with new types of loot and dynamic events, making combat more tense and strategic. From the alpha, I saw that people with elite gear would just stomp through everyone. They literally had heals that would heal both shield and health, meaning in every single way, every single facet of the game, they had superior stuff and they would just run through everybody. Next on the list was doubling down on the Marathon universe. This is a big one, as people wanted a campaign for Marathon and yet were extremely disappointed when this turned out to not be the case. Marathon has such a rich lore and players have certain expectations because of that. Increased visual fidelity, it needs to look like the concept art, bold, colorful, less washed out. I want to see strong colors. Bungie then touched on things we've specifically mentioned here on the channel a lot, so I'll list them and then tell you my thoughts. A darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy, adding more social features, a better player experience for solo and duos, proximity voice chat, so social stories can come to life. Again, I'm glad these things are being added, but they're fundamental core features to a video game, especially the darker tone that plays into the original. Why wasn't this the original plan? Why did it take so much backlash for this to happen? Why was so much goodwill burnt? It took so much frustration from the public to even see these broad sweeping changes considered. It's head scratching, honestly, that it took all of this just for leadership to go, oh, the public is right. We did get it wrong. Well shit, now we better change it or our game is dead on arrival. Social experiences, including proximity voice chat, are a must-have, and a solo duo queue option is something that people expected. The queuing option, again, has been feedback from private testers for years. It shouldn't have taken so much public backlash for this to be announced. Yes, I'm happy it's being added, but again, this whole situation could have been avoided. Bungie concluded by saying you'll hear from them in the fall, so roughly September. It's going to be interesting to see just how much Bungie is willing to change in such a short time. Time will tell. And that's it. That's the Bungie delaying Marathon situation. I've been following this story from start to finish. Every few weeks, it feels like more information comes out. But for me, the big thing, and there's so many things I could pick, I really want the day-to-day developers to be respected at the studio. They should not have found out about the game being delayed same time as us, the public. That is unacceptable. It's like the whole firing situation where the Bungie developers lost their jobs and they found out they lost their jobs because they couldn't log in anymore. No notice, just couldn't log in anymore. To me, that shows a lack of respect. We'll see if the changes make any change to the future of Marathon. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You all know what I think about this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, if I can say that, and I'll see you guys later.